Everyone, today we have lecture number 11 of your first unit from your syllabus. So the next topic is equilibrium conditions and constraints. So I'll explain to you with an example, then when you read the theory you can understand by yourself. So if you have a gas in a container, say suppose this is your container, and this gas is kept only on the left side, and you're separating this container into two parts by using a wall, and that forms your constraint. So whatever separation you have kept, that is your constraint. This separation, when you keep, what is the meaning of that? This gas cannot go this side, so the particles of the gas cannot be exchanged to the right side, so this is your constraint. So what is the accessible state for the gas is only left side volume Vi. So this is the access in this container or in this system. The accessible state for this system is only the left side Vi. Okay. So now if you suppose that this constraint is suddenly removed, so then what happens? Now the accessible states become more. It can access this side also, this side also. Anytime it can be anywhere. So we have already defined our number of states that the system can access by this symbol, that is omega. And this, if this omega, if I'm saying this omega is final, it will be more than that of the initially it could contain only the left side, but now once I remove this constraint, then what happens? The final number of states will be much bigger than the initial number of states. Now if you, now this is only one system, this is only one system. If you consider a system or a number of such systems like this, then what happens? So if you consider a number of systems like that, so then if you find out the probability of a system being in the initial state, that or in any one of the states. So now if we have here, the probability is given by it can be either in this one or this one, but what is the total number of states available is 2. Let's say it's just 2, so it will be 1 by 2. So probability of any particle being in any one of those portions is 1 by 2, initial by final. Okay, so now yeah, so that is a case when the yeah, so this is what I've written. It is probability is becoming 1 by 2. Okay, so if you have n number of such molecules, then what happens? So this 1 by 2 whole raised to n. Okay, so omega I by omega f whole raised to n. So in case of a gas, this n will be, average number will be Avogadro's number. So when you put this as half whole raised to Avogadro's number, you will get this. So probability is very small that the particle can be in any one side, like that. So this is how you calculate the probability. Now yeah, now one other thing is that if you say that this is the probability, okay, you can just read here. If the equilibrium probability distribution of finding the system in a range between y and y plus dy is proportional to the number of accessible states and of the system when the parameter lies in this range. So probability of finding a system in according to parameter y is proportional to the accessible states according to the parameter y. This parameter can be anything, volume, temperature, anything, it can be that. So if some constraint of an isolated systems are removed, this is very important point. So if some constraints of the system are removed, like in the previous example I just said, we are just lifting the partition. So if isolated systems are removed, the parameters of the system tend to adjust themselves in such a way that this number of accessible states approaches a maximum. So if you speak in simple terms, so let's say you have a piston cylinder. So this is your piston and this is your cylinder. So at one point of time you have fixed it in one place, and then suddenly you let it loose. So if the pressure, gas was under some certain pressure, after going up and down, it settles at some point. How does a piston know when to settle? So that is when it settles is this one. It adjusts themselves in such a way that number of accessible states approaches a maximum. So the number of accessible states by this gas that is inside this, when it reaches a maximum, that is when the piston settles down or the system comes to equilibrium. So this is your equilibrium condition. So this is the most important thing. What is that? So the number of accessible states has to reach a maximum point, then the system comes to an equilibrium. Okay, so this is your equilibrium condition. So please remember that. So next we have reversible and irreversible processes. So this is very simple. What is that? You have your, I'm not going to read through all this, you can read it. So what is, you have your, after removing the constraint, final states is, final number of accessible states is given by this, and initial number of accessible states is given by this. So if you remove the constraints, and then if the final states are greater than the initial states, then it's an irreversible process. Means even though you remove the constraint and also put back the constraint, if still the final states are larger than the initial states, the process is an irreversible process. Means it cannot come back to the same thing again. But what if the number of final states is equal to the number of initial states? So if you remove that partition, still the number of states accessible to the system remains the same. That means what? System is already in equilibrium, and therefore the process is reversible. So these two are the two conditions or final conclusions. So you can read through this to make it more clear. Okay, so that is your irreversible and reversible process. So you can just, when asked to define it, then you can just define it with these two sentences. Now next topic is distribution of energy between systems in equilibrium. So there are some systems in equilibrium. How do you how to distribute the energy? Means when they are brought into contact, how do they come to equilibrium? So that is what they're talking about. So let's say we have two systems, A and A dash, having energies E and E dash. So and with D and D dash, D E dash as sublevels. So what is it saying? A has omega states with energy E and E plus D. A dash has omega dash states with energy E dash and E plus D dash. Okay. Now we are assuming that they are not thermally insulated, so that they are free to exchange energy. It's just like the previous example where I showed you what this is separated by this thing, but this is your A and A dash, but they are not thermally insulated. So that means what? Energy is exchanged between, heat can be exchanged. So this has E plus E and okay, D, E2 E plus D, and this has E dash to E plus D E dash. Okay, so this is their partition. So but this, they can exchange energy, but the one thing is that what remains constant is what? The total energy that is E naught is a constant. Okay, so if you have E plus E dash is equal to E naught, then E dash is equal to E naught minus E, because the total energy that is E naught will never change. This whole system is isolated from the remaining universe, so it is just in itself. So the number of accessible states to the entire system A naught can be thus regarded as a function of a single parameter, the energy E of system A. So if the whole system is named as A naught, then entire system can be regarded as what? Function of a single parameter, that is the energy E of the system A. So if you have a system if you have a system and then the whole system is named as A naught, so the number of accessible states pertaining to the entire system is given by the number of accessible states pertaining to A or A dash. So that is what this means. So let us denote omega naught E as the number of states accessible to A naught when A has an energy between E and E plus D dash. So DE, okay. So this is the total number of accessible states given when this one of the system has an energy E. So this is the total number of states available to this total system when one of the states has an energy E. Okay. So in equilibrium, A naught must be equally likely to be found in any one of its states. So it can be any one of its sublevels. It can be in this A naught in equilibrium condition. It can be, we have so many states, accessible states are there. There are so many omega E1, omega E2, E3, E4, like that, so many states. So at any point of time, this whole system is likely to be found in any of these states. That is what this means. So hence probability P of finding this combined system in a configuration where A has energy between E and E plus D is simply proportional to the number of states available accessible to the total system A naught. So PE, sorry, this is don't consider this. PE is the probability of finding the entire system when the system A has an energy of E. So is given by C into omega naught of E. This is what is this? This means the total number of states accessible to the whole system, and the C is just a constant of proportionality. This because probability is proportional to the number of accessible state. C is a constant of proportionality. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, if I take log p, okay, so that means one thing is that if you have these two, so let's say, yeah, now you have this, so then yeah, I wrote here, okay, yeah. Now, when A has energy E, it can be any one of its, so A can be in any one of the accessible states with E, okay. So, I just wrote it for your understanding. So, the total number of accessible states, that is rho naught E, is given by rho E multiplied by rho dash E naught minus E. What is this? Because this is E dash. E dash is given by E naught minus E. So I just wrote. So it can be in any one of these states. What is that? That system A. There we have this whole system is divided into two, right? And then they are separated by a what is this? Not thermally insulated to each other. So then the whole system, that is the whole system A naught, can be in any one of these states having what? A can be in any of row E1, row E2, row E3, and this A naught can be in row E1, row E2, etc., etc., etc. So it can be the system A naught can be here, or can be here, or can be here. So it can be both. A dash will have one value at that particular instant of time, and A will have one value at that particular instant of time where the whole entire system A naught is located. So that is what is meaning by this. That is why we are multiplying it, not adding, because both of the values are simultaneously possible. So if row E is 3 and row dash E is 4, then total number of accessible states to the entire system is given by 12. So if this is 3 and this is 4, then the total, this is your whole A naught. A naught can access 12 states. So that is the meaning of this. Okay. And so the probability again is given by C row of E multiplied by rho dash E naught minus E. What is E naught minus E? That is the for the second system A, this A dash. So this is E dash is equal to E naught. This is our total energy minus E. This is E. Okay. So hope you can understand. If you cannot understand, go through it again and again. Okay. I cannot take more time on this because of data limitations. Then yeah. So dependence of P, that is what is this P probability on the energy E. Since A and A dash are both systems of very many degrees of freedom, so it has many. It's just I showed here that it's only 12, but it has many, like 10 raised to 23 times, like so many. It has much more like that. So rho E and rho dash E dash are rapidly increasing functions. So it increases. So then what happens? So if this rho E is increasing, then rho dash E must be decreasing. Why? Because E naught is a constant. So if E is increasing, then this term should decrease. So then what happens? One thing is increasing, one thing is decreasing. So at a point, if you plot between probability and energy, at a point you can have a maximum, because one value is increasing and one value is decreasing. So at one point together there is a maxima there. So then this is a total average energy at which the probability is maxima, that probability is 1. So this is that point, and this region, that average energy, there is one point, that is what, to locate the position of the maximum p, or equivalently of the maximum of its logarithms, we need to find the value of this value we have to find. Okay, why do we want to find this position? So because of that we have to find this. So it's much easier to take logarithms, because our numbers are so huge, so we are taking logarithms. So when you take logarithm, d natural log of p dou e is 1 by p dou p by dou e. Why? Because this is, we want the log, the p should be equal to 1. So when you do this, then it should be equal to 0. Because why we want equal to 1? This is should be unity. The probability should be unity. So when you take so change in that, it should be equal to 0. So now we, from our previous equation of probability, including the constants and accessible states, so when you substitute that value of log p here, so then you should come to this factor. Then now these things, from here I am going to define certain constants which you will understand in the next section. So this one you just keep it in your mind. So you have beta e of system A is equal to beta dash e dash of system B. Okay, where E and E dash, these are average values, denote the corresponding energies of A and A dash at the maximum, where so this symbol, this tilde symbol here, that represents this one, this portion here. Okay, where the PE is going to be max, this range, it represents this range. So that one I am writing in terms of one constant B and B dash, corresponds to system A and system A dash, is defined by this one, is taken equivalent to this one, this portion. Okay. So this is d ln omega by d. So beta has the dimension of reciprocal energy. So I'm just putting this whole thing as a constant. Then another thing we are introducing is a dimensionless parameter t. So I'm going to put kt is equal to 1 by beta. So then this will have the value of energy. So kt is equal to 1 by beta, where k is some positive constant having the dimensions of energy and whose magnitude can be chosen in a convenient arbitrary way, the parameter t. Now we are defining a parameter t. We already know what is kt. This is Boltzmann constant and temperature. So they're just showing you how they arrived at it. So again, t is defined as a dimensionless, this one, yeah, some constant value. 1 by t is given by dou s by dou e, where s is equal to k ln omega. Okay, so we are just defining such kind of parameters. What is this? Now already we know that this is entropy. S is equal to entropy. Now therefore the condition for maximum probability, so if maximum probability has to be there, then what has to be there? S plus S dash has to be maximum, or as BE is equal to, because BE is equal to this beta, this dash, therefore t is equal to t dash. So when the temperature, therefore what they are trying to say is that this is the temperature, defining temperatures. So when temperature is equal, then the system comes to be in probability, equilibrium. So that is what this whole thing they are trying to define. So finally we have to say that T is equal to T dash, or the temperature of A is equal to temperature of A dash, then the system has maximum probability, or S plus S dash is maximum. The entropy has to be maximum. Okay, so this is what, so you'll understand about this part when we take the next topic on temperature. Thank you.